in part 3 of how to draw an architectural elevation, I will show you how to complete this architectural floor plan and how to add its key references along with some things that we might have missed in the last video. So let's begin. Now the first thing that I like to do is, I would like to add here is the gutters for the front porch. So basically what I'm using is a 150 mm by 150 mm square line Colorbone gutter. So I'll just give a rough outline of that over here. And then I'll draw my gutter. So what I'll do is first I'll draw my outline accordingly, then I'll move it out. Then I'll copy this up, the existing gutter detail. And then I'll edit everything over here. Now what I'll do is put those lines into the gutters layer. You can call that gutter. And we can select our hedge, whichever color you think is right. Select a solid hedge. For this case, I'll just use a gray. Then what I'll do is draw a polyline over here and just offset that by a distance of 600 mm. Now I did this offset because this is where the column starts and this is the overhang of the roof. So what I'll do now is take this part and put it over here. Type XL for X line and just trim off all the unnecessary and the excess. Like so. Then what I'll do is simply regroup this and paste it to the offset of 600 mm, like so. After that, I'll select my gutter line, gutter in the downpipe, pick on one of the specific corners and just bring them down here like so. Now that you can see that your gutter has moved back, so just simply select the hedge, do a draw order, type DR, then press enter, and then click on front. Once it comes to the front, what you can do is select a downpipe and then also bring that to the front. So you can say above object, then you have to select your reference object. Then press enter. And there you go, it has brought it up. Similarly with this, and there you go. So I put only one downpipe here because it's a small roof and it should not require that many downpipes. But if you think 2 is right, you can put 2. Okay, now the next thing that we'll do is we'll refer to the key reference table. Now this number one in this key reference says window SP window schedule. So what we will do is we'll do a key reference. Simply we will turn on our text layer. Then we will create key, and a key can be created by using a multi-leader, and we'll say that that key is number 1 and click on OK. Now you'll have to adjust the scale and bring it to the scale of which the elevation is. So we'll just click on one of those and we'll see that it's at a scale of 1:60 and our drawing is still at a scale of 1:60. So what you'll do is first you'll position your key so that it looks neat and consistent. Then what you'll do is to an XL for X line or construction line. There you go. That is your point. You will not be crossing anywhere further than this. Now we'll refer to number 1, and that says window as per window schedule. So this is the window and it should be done as per window schedule. Now the next thing that we'll do is, since there are 2 windows, we'll do an add leader. So we'll firstly select our multi-leader, then we'll click on this drop down arrow, then we'll say add leader and copy it over here like so. That your 1 refers to window. Now what we'll do is simply copy this up or down. You can just bring it down, or we can take it up, it's better. Then what we'll do is simply bring this arrow over here, snap it there. You can either remove this arrow or you can just click on it and bring it and snap it over there like so. So it becomes 1. Make sure to change this value, and the DOA is as per DOA schedule. So that is note number 2 in this exercise. DOA as per DOA schedule. Now the next thing that you can see is Colorbone trim deck roof cladding installed as per architect's instruction. That is number 3. So you don't need to create a new one. You just have to select one and copy and paste it over there like so. Then what you will do is just hold this point down and snap it to wherever you think is right. Now this, you should not have the layer pointing in this kind of angle, so you will have to make your layer straight. So what I'll do is I'll use my grid as a reference, select the multi-leader and then move it over there. Then I'll use this grip, right? Not this grip. This is for adjusting the distance, this distance. This is for adjusting the angle of the leader. So what I'll do is I'll simply bring it there like so and bring it out to my reference line. Remember to change, this has to be item number 3. And if you think that your referencing line is too long, what you can do is you can also move the line inside. Now, based on your settings, the leader will behave, or your texts will behave as they have been set up in the previous setups that I have done. Now, as you can see that I had to use this hotspot, this grip, and not this one for adjusting. Why? Because if this one is past your plane, you will not be able to extend the length and make it consistent. So that is our reference now. And the next thing that we'll go for is number 4, 150 mm concrete. And we can change this to concrete block wall. Concrete block wall, plastered and painted as per architect's instructions. So the architect's instruction for painting will be shown in another sheet. I will show you as to what I'll show you the actual finishes layout of the building, which will show what color the flashing is, what color the walls will be, what color the eaves will be, and the other things. So for this case, we'll say number 4. Now we have done the pointing ones, but we have not done the other one. So what I'll do is simply copy one of these, move them up slightly. You can either click this and bring it over here, or you can simply select your layer, then click on this drop down arrow, then say remove leader, and then select the leader that you wish to remove, press enter. It's always good to keep your drawings neat and consistent. So what I like to do is, if I have to place any of my arrows somewhere, I'll try to place it between two lines. So the outline of this and the outline of this, and this will be between the two lines so that it looks neat and consistent. So we'll do M2P for that and paste it there. Then we'll click on the properties arrow and we will select a dot. So you are saying that this is number 4. So number 4 is a 150 mm concrete block wall, plastered and painted as per architect's instructions. So let's go to number 5. So simply you can either use this or you can use the point out. So in this case I'll use this one. And since there are two, I'm going to mirror them to the point in between these two lines. So since both the facer boards are the same, what I will do is I'll just simply move this one up, make them look consistent, then do M2P again and select the lines. Then I'll click on this drop down arrow, add a leader, and I'll do the same process that I did up there for this. So that's M2P, like so. So there you can see that it has created two neat lines. Now we'll see item number 5. We'll see item number 6. That's a 150 mm 0.8 square line gutter. So what we'll do is simply copy this note, or we can copy this note here, move it up, and just bring this out over here like so. Then we'll click on properties and we'll change it to a closed fill arrow like so. And then we can change this to number 6, and this can be number 5. Now always be careful when you copy and paste. You do not want to copy blindly. That will make a lot of mistakes. Now the next thing is number 7. That's a Colorbone Flashing. So basically there isn't much flashings over here. There'll just be one end flashing over here. So what we can do is we can just mirror this to the center of maybe these two grids, so that I get a good coordination of my. And then what I'll do is simply just move these ones up and indicate to where my flashing is, like so. And then we can say that that is a number 7. Then we can see that number 8 is a 75 mm down pipe. So what we'll do is we'll just copy one of these. I'll use the point out one, the one with the arrow, not the one with the dot. Bring that over there like so. Extend your multi-leader onto this, and then just call this a number 8. Now the outline of V-drain is not important for this exercise, but we'll leave it there because it might come into another. Similarly with this, there is no boundary fence. Leave that note there for now. Hand railings, column, and these two. So we can just make separate callouts or notes for these. So the next item that we'll do is do hand railing. So we'll just copy down this and just bring it down slightly. That's one for the column. Then we'll add one more leader. Then we'll add one more leader because there are 3 sets of railings here, like so. And then we'll say that number 12, we'll say that this is number 12. Right. Next is the 300 by 300 column tile. So that's number 13. So again, you can either use a straight one, or let me show you another one. You don't really have to do that much work here. Just copy this down, bring it over here like so, draw yourself a polyline, make sure it's straight, and then select this, change the arrow to dot because you are showing it inside of an object, and just bring it over here into M to P, that's mirror to point. There you go. If you think that that's encroaching with the down pipe, just move it out slightly, escape, and then delete. And remember to change your numbers. So number 12, that's number 13. So number 13 is your 300 by 300 column, as it's noted here. Now the next thing that we can draw is the outline of weatherboard that I've shown up here. So simply what I'll do is copy this, paste it over there, and just change the numbering to 14. And if you wish, you can move this slightly inwards, like so. And you can center this line in between these two. For me, consistency is key, so I'm trying to keep everything consistent, but it's not really that important. Right, now what I'll do is make sure that all of my texts are in line. So instead of drawing for 3 items, instead of drawing a reference line, what I'll do is select my leader, then I'll select on this triangle hot grip, and I'll just bring it and match it over here. Similarly with this, I'll bring the triangle and match it over there, so that all these texts are in one line. Now that you have done that, let's move to the setup side of the elevations. So double click inside your viewport, locate where you had drawn your elevation. Remember to check what scale you are at. If you are not sure what scale you had set up, what you can do is click on one of the objects for that elevation and click over here. It says 1:60. So click on this drop down arrow, that's the scale, and then select your 1:60 scale. Adjust it so it looks to be centered, and double click outside. As you can see that I have more than enough gap inside here. Now do not worry about this line. These lines will not show up when they are printing because they have been set to def points. And as per laws of architecture, AutoCAD, your def points will always be set to non-printable. Let me show you what I mean. So you click on layers property if you want to see what line is printing, what line is not printing. Then you click on you look for the layer that you want to see the properties. In this case, it's def points. Then we'll go over here, right to the end. And somewhere towards the end, you'll see that it will not print. Right. So now that is done, remember, these numbers are very crucial. So you'll have to go back to your site plan, and you'll have to start setting them up from there. So this is 01. Remember, this is not a page number, this is a key number. And this is your sheet number. Then this is 02. And this is the sheet number here. This is the key number. This will be 03. It might seem easy in the starting, but believe me, it gets tough. And this is 04. Now, as you can see that on the sheet, you have two. So the top one to be 05 and the bottom one to be 06. The lowest number on the top, the highest number on the bottom. So it continues into the next. So when you go to the next sheet, you get 7 and then you get 8. Again, lowest number at the bottom, highest number on the top. Now, this number is also important because we will be showing this into our elevation key. So if we are seeing that this elevation is on sheet number I05 and the key number 05, and it's the front elevation, we will see that accordingly. So currently it's set here. We have shown this elevation on this key number and this drawing sheet, and we have reversed it similarly. 05 on A02. So whatever 05 on A02 is, that is your elevation. That's your 05 on A02. check that everything is proper and consistent. And then what you can do is simply either Control P, do a Control P to plot one sheet. Make sure that your setups are as per previous videos. And click on OK. There is one more thing. If you wish to know any of your page sizes, set these to DWG to PDF PC3 and click over here and look at all the ISOs. All the ISOs will show you all the sizes of the pages. So if you are using ISO full bleed i4, that's 297 by 210. Don't worry about this full bleed. This is far more important. Full bleed just basically says in AutoCAD that your printer will print right to the edges of the paper. This is the edge of the paper. Up to this, the printer will be printing. I've extracted this image into the drawing so that my drawing looks neat. And this is the Untitled Flashing, which I'll show you in another video as to why I put there when we are doing this elevation for this building. So, as I was saying, plot is for one sheet and publish is for general several sheets. So to publish, to plot, just do a Ctrl+P command and click on OK. Specify your file name. I'll just call this IE1 roughly, and it will, if you had set up your file location in the first setup video, then it will take you straight to the file that you had set it up for. Click on save, and it should automatically pop up your PDF like so. So as you can see that I have not used several colors for several things. I like to use monochrome, but mostly I use my colors in the light fashion, so that my drawings are always neat and consistent, and they'll also look like a professional architectural drawing. 100% of these is to the exact scale that we have set it up to. And this is what your finished product should look like at the end of this elevation tutorial. Or if your setup is slightly out, then it will look slightly different. Now, the next object that I'd like to tell you is publish. That's PU. So for publish, you type PUBLISH, publish. Click on OK. And it will show you the entire sheets. So this one gives you the chance to either print one, either publish one, or you can do several. So to start publishing here, what you can do is simply, first you'll have to select the AutoCAD, the DWG file, not these layout files, the model file, and delete that because that's not important. Then if you wish to print from A00 to A06, what you can do is simply delete the rest that is below it. Now this will not delete the layouts, this will only temporarily delete the layout so that you can print whatever you wish. And if you wish to print the intermediate sheets, you can select one, click on Control, then click the other one, and then click the other one, whichever you wish to print, and then click on Publish and click on Yes. I've shown this setup in the other videos, but just to give a basic refresher on this. Then click on Publish and it will start publishing. Remember, publishing will take slight bit of time because it has to plot and it has to bind everything so that you can see your documents. That was all for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.